All right, so in this video, we're going to learn how we solve linear inequalities. And let's take this example here, like example number 1. Suppose I have y plus 4 greater than or equal to 5, right? Now, we learn from equations, if you have y plus 4 equals 5, that's called equation. So we subtract 4 from both sides, right? And we got y equals 1. So that's the answer. We do the same thing for inequality. So here we have equality equation, and here we have inequality. So this is greater than or equal to 5. So we do the same thing. We're going to subtract 5 from both sides. And we're going to have y greater than or equal to 1, right? And in order to graph the inequality, we can have, let's suppose I have like 0. This is a number line here, 2, 3, right? 4. On the left side, we have negative numbers, -1, -2, -3. And since we have greater than or equal, so it's going to be shaded circle, which 1 will be included in the solution. So 1 will be included in the solution, right? In some textbook, you have close interval, right? So this shaded circle indicate that 1 is included. If we pick any numbers from 1 all the way to infinite, we'll make this one exist. Well, let's take another example here involving subtraction. So x minus 8 less than -4. So we need to go the same as the equation. We need to get rid of -8. So we're going to add 8 in both sides, right? And we're going to have x less. So -4 plus 8, that will be 4. So the answer is x less than 4. If I want to graph this one in number line here, so I get like, for example, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here I have the negative values, -1, -2, -3, -4, and so on, right? So we have x less than 4. So instead to have shaded circle, we're going to have empty circle, means 4 is not included in the solution set, right? And it's going to be all the way to -infinity, right? Some textbook, they have open circle. Instead of closed circle, they have open circles and all the way to infinite, right? So the empty circle indicate that 4 is not included. We cannot pick 4 as a solution because 4 is not less than 4. However, 4 is less than or equal to 4. That's correct, but this statement is not correct. So that's why 4 is not, we can't include 4 in the solution set. All right, so let's take this example. We get inequalities, inequality involving multiplication. So we get 9x less than or equal to 72. Again, we need to solve for x, all right? So we need to isolate x, so we need to get rid of 9. So instead, since we have multiplication, we have to divide by 9 in order to cancel the 9 here, right? So it's going to be like 9 over 9, that would be 1 there. And we're going to have x less than 72 divided by 9, that would be 8. That would be 8. All right, so in this example, we get x divided by 4 greater than 12. And in this case, we're going to learn the inequality involving division. So we know that 4 is the denominator, so we need to get rid of 4. So we have to multiply by 4 in both sides. We have to multiply by 4 in both sides here, right? Because remember, we can simplify 4 with 4 now, right? And we're going to have x greater than 12 times 4, that would be 48. That would be 48. And that's the answer. All right, in this problem, we're going to learn how we solve inequality involving multiplication with negative value, right? Here we have -10 times x less than or equal to 150. Remember, we need to get rid of -10. So anytime you multiply, when you have inequality, anytime you multiply or you divide by negative value, you're gonna reverse the direction of the inequality, right? So we're gonna flip, we're gonna change the direction of the inequality. Again, anytime when you multiply or you divide by negative value, you're gonna reverse the direction of the inequality. In this case, we need to divide it by negative 10, right? And that would be x 150 divided by negative 10, that would be negative 15, right? And since we divided by negative value, we're gonna reverse the direction of the inequality. So there will be x greater or equal to negative 15, greater than or equal to negative 15. And that's very, very important. So make sure you change the inequality, the direction of the inequality. We're going to reverse the direction of the inequality, and when we divide, we will multiply by negative value. We get the same thing for this example here. Let's take example 6 here. And we have like x divided by negative 2, right, greater than 7. Now again, the same thing here. We need to get rid of negative 2. Remember, negative 2 is the denominator here, so we need to multiply by negative 2 as a numerator here in order to get rid of it. So we're going to divide by negative 2 in both sides, right? And remember, this is going to be it's going to be gone here. So we'll have x 7 times negative 2, that would be negative 14. And since I multiplied by negative value, right, so I will change, right, I will reverse the direction of this inequality. So instead of greater than 7, would be less than 14, negative 14, right? So as you can see, the inequality is reversed. In this example, we got to learn how we cancel the fraction, how we get rid of fraction, like 2/3 times x greater than or equal to 6. So we need to cancel 2/3. Now there is something that has to do with the reciprocal. If you multiply, for example, if you multiply like any fraction, right, with its reciprocal, this is a reciprocal. Now b over a is reciprocal of a over b, right? So anytime you multiply a fraction with its reciprocal, the answer will be 1. The answer will be 1 because, as you know, we can cancel like a with a and b with b, so the answer is 1. So in this example, if I want to get rid of 2/3, I can just multiply by the reciprocal of 2/3, which is 3 over 2, which is 3 over 2. And I got to do the same thing here, right? So this is going to be gone right here, and x will be greater than 6 times 3. Well, we can cancel. We can simplify 6 with 2 here. We're going to have 3, and 3 times 3, that would be 9. And the answer would be x greater than or equal to 9. And pay attention, if you have negative fraction, means you got to multiply by negative reciprocal, and you got to change, you're going to reverse the direction of the inequality. And let's take this example. Let's suppose I have the same example, right? And I have negative. Suppose I have. Let's take this example. 8. We have like instead of 2/3, we have negative 2/3, right? Negative 2/3 x greater than 6, greater than or equal to 6. So in this case, we need to get rid of negative 2/3, not 2/3. So we need to multiply by the negative reciprocal, which is negative 3 over 2, right, times negative 2/3 x, and also we have to multiply by the same thing, negative 3 over 2, all right? So here we have, this is going to be gone right here. Negative times negative is positive, and we're going to have x. We're going to have x. And the same thing here, we can multiply 6 over 2, that's going to be 3, and that would be negative 9 here. That would be negative 9. But since we multiply by negative fraction or negative value, we're going to reverse the direction of this inequality. So instead of greater than or equal, will be less than or equal to negative 9. All right? So we have to be careful. When we multiply by negative value, we have to reverse the direction of the inequality. All right, so in this example, we're going to learn two-step inequality. All right, so I got 2x plus 4 greater than 6. So the first thing, we need to cancel the 4. So we're going to subtract 4 from both sides here, right? And we're going to get 2x greater than 2, because 6 minus 4 is 2. The next step, we need to get rid of 2. We're going to divide by 2 on both sides, right? And we're going to get x greater than 1. And let's suppose we want to graph this inequality right here. Again, we get 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. On the left side, we get the negative values, negative 1, negative 2, and negative 3. And since I have x greater than 1, so that's going to be empty circle because 1 is not included in the solution set. So we're going to have from 1 empty circle all the way to the right, all the way to positive infinite. All right, so let's take this example, inequality with negative fractional coefficient here. So we're going to have 10 minus 1 over 2x less than or equal to 4. So again, the first thing, we need to get rid of 10, right? So we're going to subtract 10 both sides, right? And that would be negative 1 over 2. 1 second. So we're going to have negative 1 over 2x less than 4 minus 10, that would be negative 6. That would be negative 6 here, all right? So the next step, we need to get rid of negative 1 over 2, right? So we're going to multiply by the reciprocal of negative 1 over 2, which is negative 2 over 1, which is negative, let me change the color here, which is negative 2 over 1, right? That's negative reciprocal, negative 2 over 1 here, right? So in this case, that's going to be a 1. The whole thing is going to be a 1 because we're going to simplify 2 with 2, 1 with 1, negative times negative is positive, so we're just going to get 1. So we're going to keep it as 1x or x, right? Before we multiply, before we talk about the direction here for inequality, we're going to change the inequality because we multiplied by negative value. So make sure you change. So we're going to change. We're going to reverse the direction of the inequality here. It's going to be like greater than or equal to. On the right side, we have negative times negative is positive, and 6 times 2, that will be 12. That will be 12. So the answer will be x greater than or equal to 12.